All right, with linebacker Thomas Davis and in a season full of frustrating games, this might be the most frustrating.
It is, man. We fighting, giving ourselves chances, and what we're doing, we're finding ways to lose games, man. And players, we got to do a better job of competing in the end. That's all it boils down to.
The defense looks so good for so much of the game until, of course, the final series in regulation when they go 80 yards and then the first series in overtime when they take it all the way. Did they do anything different, or did the defense do anything different?
Like I said, we just got to do a better job of competing. We know the situation. We practice it all the time. They didn't do nothing we didn't expect them to do, and we just got to challenge better. As players, we got to do a better job, flat out.
I hate to ask you this. Tell me what you're feeling inside, because I'm looking at everyone's faces. I know how much everyone's hurting right now.
It hurts. It hurts. It hurts. You know, we put so much work in during the week. The coaches put so much time in getting the game plan together, and players, we put a lot of work in this, man, and this is...
You're a veteran. You've been in the league for a while. Can you tell me where you go from here?
We keep fighting. We keep fighting. We got a lot of games left, man. We got a big game coming up, Monday Night Football against Philadelphia, and we got to stick together. We got to stick together, and we got to keep competing like we're doing, but we just got to do a better job of finishing.
One final question. I know what the referee calls is the call, but a lot of people disagreed with him calling that personal foul on you that really helped the Buccaneers drive.
Ridiculous, man. It's really taken away from the game, because if you look at the play, you can clearly see that I was lowering my shoulder to get up under his shoulder pads. He go down, I go down with him, and he lay on the field. Whether he was hurt, I can't make that judgment whether he was really hurt or not. But
and you're pointing to your shoulder. You're telling him, I know what I'm doing. I'm hitting him with the shoulder.
Absolutely, man. They can review the play. They can do whatever they want, man. But I know that I went to get up under his shoulder pad, and clearly you can see the replay. I got under his shoulder pad. He's laid on the field. I don't know if he was hurt. Like I said, I can't make that judgment. I don't know if he was hurt or not. But once they lay down on the field, it don't matter how late it is, the ref's going to make that call.
The Panthers are 2-8. They play at Philadelphia a week from tomorrow. I cannot tell you how much respect I have for Thomas Davis, not afraid to show how passionate he is about his football. A man who's come back from 3 knee surgeries, a player who leaves it on the field every down, every game. I mean, there's a lot of problems with the Panthers. No one's saying there's not, but there's also a lot of good, and I think TD tops that second list. Just something to think about.
Yeah, TD, 16 tackles.
And one of the reasons why we showed that interview.
Wow. Why are you asking all the hard questions?
Well, because I wanted
choked up.
I wanted people to see. I know a lot of fans are frustrated, and rightly so, because the Panthers can't seem to catch a break. I wanted people to see how frustrated the players are, how they're leaving it out on the field. I'm not trying to make excuses for them. I just want you to know that they are giving it their all, and they're not going to give up the rest of the season, even though the season pretty much is over now that they have 8 losses. The best they can do is 8-8. So season over for the coach, you think? Yeah. In college, 7 of 10 gets you a C. In the NFL, it's worth an F and a trip to the unemployment line. I'm Bruce Snyder. Today, the Panthers waived field goal kicker Justin Medlock, signing free agent Graham Gano to replace him. Medlock started the season a perfect 7 for 7, but he's missed his last 3 kicks, including this 40-yarder last Sunday that would have given Carolina a 17-10 lead over the Bucs. Of course, Tampa Bay ended up winning. In overtime, they would have needed those 3 points. Gano last kicked for the Redskins in 2010 and 2011, making 55 of 76 field goals. That's not exactly stellar either. This being Tuesday, the players had the day off, but many stopped by the Uptown Men's Shelter to help give out meals to the less fortunate. It's the 5th year the Panthers are participating in the Giving Thanks program.
So it's very important, just to give back to the community, in a way to help out, that's what we're here for. Oh, yeah. Huh? Yeah, so, and to make sure everybody have a good Thanksgiving.
He's a professional. He finished the interview after he answered that other question. Alexander and the 2-8 Panthers back at practice tomorrow, preparing for Monday night's game at Philadelphia. Hoops now, and the 9th-ranked Tar Heels going for their 5th win in as many games, but playing their toughest opponent to date. That would be giant killer Butler out in Paradise, otherwise known as Maui, and it's a wowie in Maui. The Bulldogs would jump out to a 29-point lead. Kellen Dunham with the tray, he would have 17. The Heels with a great comeback at one point, cutting Butler's lead from 29 down to 9. That's Reggie Bullock, the hoop and the hack, but the Heels dug too deep a hole. Rodney Clark, 3 of the 17. David gets Goliath once again. Butler, 82. Carolina, 71. And how about those Bobcats? 7-59 last year, already 5-4 this season. Woo! Charlotte will host Toronto tomorrow. One reason for the success? Attention to the fundamentals. In yesterday's 102-98 win over Milwaukee, the Bobcats were 19 of 20 from the free throw line in the second half.
We shoot volume free throws. We're not exactly the most gifted team at shooting free throws, but what we do is that we pay attention to it every day, and we get extra stuff done with those guys that are going to get the most. So we've targeted it as an issue for ourselves.
They host Toronto tomorrow. Once again, it looks like this area is becoming a Bobcat nation unless a Panther nation.
Because they're winning.
Can't we be both?
The awards for the nation's best sportscasters and sports writers are in Salisbury?
Every year since 1959. And that's why this weekend, our small North Carolina town feels like the Big Apple. Some major names are in Salisbury, North Carolina. And that's because every summer, this town of some 30,000 hosts the National Sportscaster and Sports Writers Hall of Fame ceremonies.
How could you not be proud of something that is a nationwide event in your city of 30,000 people? You know, how many other cities in this country of 30,000 get an event like this in their backyard?
Bob Costas was at the Belmont yesterday. He's due in Salisbury today and will be inducted into the Hall of Fame tomorrow, as will national sports writer John Feinstein. Among the big names expected also to be on hand, Dick Vitale, Jay Billis, National Sportscaster of the Year Dan Schulman, and former Red Sox manager Terry Francona. Dave Gorin and his staff have been working all year to make sure everything right now runs smooth.
No matter how hard we work this week, it is so much fun to get to know people from all across the country who do what we do. And to compare those stories, I told all the winners when I called them, you have to come because this 3-day weekend is like a 3-day media hospitality room. I just think that's the neatest thing because everybody has a different story to tell, and that's what we do is tell stories. We're storytellers. The best storytellers in the world are coming here to Salisbury this weekend.
The winners are presented with a plaque, and their picture goes up on the walls of the Hall of Fame. The NSSA Hall of Fame has some 90 members currently, but what it doesn't have is its own building. The Hall of Fame has moved through the years from location to location, and currently it's housed here at the Salisbury Holiday Inn.
They did have their own building at one time. They chose to give that up for the time being, and so we house all the photos now. They have a lot of memorabilia, too. It'd be wonderful if they could get a new building to put all that in, too, but we love having them here.
That is something the NSSA has been working on, but looking on the bright side, because the photos are in the Holiday Inn, they can be looked at 24/7, 365. In the meantime, the banquets continue. This year is the 53rd annual. It's sold out, although it also will be streamed live on the web from good old Salisbury.
It's not New York. It's not Los Angeles. That's a draw to some people. You know, it's not the sports Emmys in New York, but that people go to every year. And there's a certain Southern hospitality. Mike Tirico last year said, you know, it's often mentioned, but it's not always genuine as it is here in Salisbury.
That's so cool.
And once again, it takes place, the main banquet tomorrow at 7 p.m. You know, I walked through the Holiday Inn lobby that you saw. It's amazing the names you see. Let me throw out some. Ronald Reagan, Howard Cosell, Al Michaels, Vin Scully, Mike Tirico. I kind of like it in the hotel lobby. It's a chance to see all these great names. And I mean, it doesn't matter what your time constraints are because that lobby's always open.
I'm going to write down on my list of goals, I want my name up on that wall. That's one of my goals now.
It's a worthy goal.
Very worthy.
I think you could make it one day. Maybe.
Me too.
I don't think so. On the other side of the break, we'll find out what you think about LeBron and company's chances of winning it all and what you think about her chances of getting on the wall.